I'm just going to read a passage from your book because I think people need to understand what fair game is and just what Scientology is all about. Are you ready? I'm going to put my reading voice on. It's going to be the same voice. Okay. So this is how Leah starts her book. Let me start with this. I am an apostate. I have lied. I have cheated. I have done things in my life that I'm not proud of, including, but not limited to, falling in love with a married man 19 years ago, being selfish and self-centered, fighting with virtually everyone I have ever known via hateful emails, texts, and spoken words, physically threatening people, from parking ticket meter maids to parents who hit their kids in public, not showing up at funerals of people I loved because I don't deal well with death, being on occasion a horrible daughter, mother, sister, aunt, stepmother, wife. This list goes on and on. So explain
why did I start the book Troublemaker in this way?
Correct.
Because I knew once I left Scientology, which is a cult and not a religion, that's not my opinion, and I could explain more if you guys want to know, because I don't shy away from like why, and playing devil's advocate is fine, but I knew the policies that would follow once I publicly spoke out against the abuses that is basically the teachings of Scientology is abuse in itself. And I knew that they had a set of directives and policies called fair game, which means once you violate Scientology law, because they have their own laws, and those laws range from speaking out publicly, they're actually categorized as high crimes. For that, you no longer have any rights per Scientology. They are allowed to post your sins, some true, some out of context, some made up, to in an attempt to discredit you, so that people, won't listen to you or won't hire you, to reporting your rape to the police, to talking to government agencies. These are all things categorized as high crimes for which this fair game doctrine is executed and activated. And that means, so I'll just briefly quote some of the policies. Some of the policies that justify, that I don't know how they've justified it, is, but I'm quoting now, find out what the person seeks to protect and go after it. And then it has, family, friends, job, and then it says, and at the very least, this I'm not quoting, but the words are used to utterly destroy the person. And so I knew that Scientology would cull my folders, because I was a Scientologist for 35 years. Every sin I've ever confessed has been written down into a folder. So what they do is they go through those folders. They get a team of employees, and they go through every one of your folders, and they write down, okay, she, admitted to masturbating, or she admitted to getting into a fist fight with her mother, whatever it was, right? And so they tried to use those things against you. And so I knew that would happen, which they're still doing today after many years of my leaving. And so that is why I started the book that way. And I also don't ever want people to think that I have claimed or will ever claim that I'm a perfect person. Right. I'm a person coming out of a mind controlling cult. Now, you could be in my cult, or you can have grown up extremely religious with extremist ideas. It's all kind of the same banner. But where mental health and mental well-being is concerned, we are raised to hate anybody who isn't us.
So, just the whole Scientology way of thinking, right? Like they didn't promote any of self-love or any type of confidence. They wanted just to bash you and wanted you to feel like you were dependent on them in a way. Is that right?
Well, yes, like I said, it's because it's a study of 2.5 hours a day, and the concepts are everything that happened to you is bad. If you say you were molested by a Scientologist, they would then put you on their lie detector and ask you in what other life you have molested a child.
Right.
And what did you do? And we're not concerned with what happened to you, but what did you do? Because you won't fully recover from this unless you figure out that it was your responsibility. So that's just part and parcel to science. You're never allowed to, like, hugging somebody if somebody died and like, I'm so sorry that you lost your, they're like, are you kidding me? Like, we don't believe in like that. Like, the mother's already off getting another body. Like, get the like, these are the words they use. Extremely abusive.
Right.
Not only are you groomed to accept this kind of abuse, but you also work to be an abuser. I had to work through that. I mean, I would.
So when you started Dancing with the Stars, was it a weird transition for you, like to have to, because you left the church and went straight to Dancing with the Stars, is that right?
Right. Yes.
So like having to interact with non-Scientologists and all of a sudden kind of showcasing maybe your life, but more trying to learn how to ballroom dance. Did you find the transition to be like, how were people reacting to you? Like, because I'm sure you still had, the same type of mannerisms maybe you had in the church of Scientology.
Well, I still do. I mean, I still have to call my therapist and say, is this abusive? And she's like, yep. And I'm like, oh, like, that's not normal to talk to, it's or to say these things in anger. Like, what the it's
right.
It's still learning. I mean, I'm out, 7, 8 years? I don't even know. But yeah, when I did Dancing with the Stars, I felt liberated, but also imagine losing all of your friends and community and basically your mother and father, because they were your primary caretakers, right? Everybody in Scientology represented a mother or father to me. So losing all of that in overnight of 35 years. So I felt like I was part of this enemy group. And then I'm like drinking and carrying on,
Right.
And I'm like, I'm everything that I'm not supposed to be, but yet I don't hate people. I'm not judging people when I'm talking to them, going, well, they just need Scientology. I mean, if I knew you as a Scientologist, Cheryl, all I would be thinking about, or AJ, like all I'd be thinking about, you guys, is how I can help you, how I can turn you away from the bullshit you're doing and bring you into Scientology. And it might take 5 years of me never saying anything bad about me never saying anything bad about the therapy you're doing, just pretending to hear you and be your friend. But eventually I'd say, I have something that can help you,
Yeah, totally.